You ever see that Billy Jack episode where he goes, I'm going to take my right boot and I'm going to put it on your left ear and there ain't a damn thing you could do about it?
I've heard the quote. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's for a Billy Jack movie.
Yeah.
And I always like that because I am not that good at deception. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, even like as an athlete, as a running back or whatever, it's like I don't even mind telling you the play because we have to beat you at it anyway. Yeah. So if you know it, I don't care. I don't think there's any surprise. We're going to run 22 dive. The quarterback's going to hand it to me, and then that Hobart linebacker, you're going to know where I'm going. Is the other guy going to block you? Am I going to get by? Same thing in at the Board of Trade. It's like when I was standing in those pits all those years. It's like, I am not going to do anything that is of deception. I'm going to buy these 10-year notes or these 5-year notes, and then I'm going to hedge them over there. And I don't care that that I bought them. And I don't care if somebody sells me 100 and all of a sudden I lost a bunch of money and I'm tens of thousands of dollars down. I don't even mind that that. I don't believe in that that's my way. There are plenty of guys that are like, ooh, little sneaky guys, and I don't have that. So in this episode, it's going to be a little bit risky because we're going to do something different, and we're going to deviate just slightly in that we're going to make a slight announcement here. I guess it is an announcement. And then we're going to analyze why this announcement is important and what it can mean to your small and medium-sized business. So as intro here, I run a radio station that's 102 years old. And 5 years ago, we had a bunch of COVID money. We didn't know what to do, so we built a sports network at an incredibly low price because it was at the beginning of COVID. And we built it. And you could go right now and download the Jed TV app on your phone or on your smart TV in your living room. And you can watch any number of 1,000 games that we stream there. 350 of them are fully produced. About 650 are done with a stationary camera. And it has taken us about 5 years to build that and get some market share. And I think we have 24 schools that we stream all their games through. And it has taken over. I was just a radio guy, and this happened. We stumbled on it. We spent 5 years building it, and then one day this summer we said, well, hey, it's about time that we monetize this and we start marketing it. And it has been slow. But recently, this podcast has had the impact of getting the main star of this podcast involved in my sports network. But it's no longer really mine. I'm not even really running it. And that is Matt Hansen. He is a digital marketing professor here at P&W. So, Matt, thanks for coming in.
Always here, every Thursday.
So, I guess this is episode 86. And we are going to do something that we're going to try that I think you're a big fan of. You're a big fan of Marcus Lemonis.
Oh, I love Marcus. Marcus is always, if I see Marcus on TV, I stop. I'm going to be honest. It's kind of one of those things like I've got to watch it. So, yes.
You've met him at conferences?
I have seen him at conferences. I did not, unfortunately, get to meet him, but right. He was 10 feet from me. But, yes.
If you guys don't know him, he's I think a Lebanese-American businessman is how they'll describe him. And he runs the shows where he goes in and he tries to fix small businesses, right?
So he owns Camping World. He's involved with Bed Bath & Beyond at this point. And, he reminds me of somebody that I used to know that would kind of oversee businesses. So he's got kind of that same mindset, and it's really interesting to watch.
So Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, how does he affect you?
I saw him a couple weeks ago at Rally on stage. He's a no BS kind of person, which I love. If I had to put the two, if I had a chance to work with both of them, I would still stay with Marcus, though.
So I like watching them both, too. Mm-hmm. And I like the sternness that they come at businesses. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Okay? So they do it on a business as a whole, okay? Right. So we have a business here, and it has grown substantially in 5 years from when the day we thought of it, or I thought of it, and people said, you're crazy. You're never going to start a network. But we did, and here we are. Recently, you came on as our marketing consultant.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
So, again, we start having those conversations about, hey, we could probably use some help and all this other stuff. And it kind of stems back to a conversation I had last night with one of the people at the incubator program that I was watching. When I sit down and I start talking with somebody, and you've said this about the podcast, how it took me forever to kind of say yes on it. I take everything in. Like, I want to understand everything and see where things are going. So I look for opportunity. And talking with you, I get one side. Talking with Sam, I get another side. Talking with Peter, I get another side, right? So there's all of these different sides that are out there. And when you start to peel back the onion, you look at the different layers and you're like, okay, there's something solid under here. I see this, I see this, I see this, right? So as we peeled all of this back, I started getting more interested in what you guys are doing because I saw real opportunity, right? So real growth. And, the last episode we talked about taking a marketing pause, and that's really kind of what you guys are going through right now, is you said, okay, well, let's launch the network. Let's go, 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 go. And then now you're monetize everything. And now that was kind of all over the place. And now what we're trying to do is get that back into a single file line. And this is how things are going to work. So great staff, great ideas, great numbers, right? Like I'm pulling things out of it and understanding it. But from a consultant point of view, I can see there's definitely something here as long as it gets all in line and everyone is all in the same team working together. I think, it'll be amazing to watch.
Marcus Lemonis and Kevin Leary. Kevin O'Leary. Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank. They look at businesses as a whole. So what Matt's doing here is a little bit different in that it's mostly on the marketing and monetization side. He's not necessarily looking at, how do we make it cheaper to go out and stream a game? How do we, the technology part of it, or even really the overall, allocation of resources and that kind of stuff. Really just kind of looking at, let's figure out how to monetize this. So I would like to maybe once every 10 episodes or so just check in and say, well, what are you doing and what are you thinking about, like, put your Marcus Lemonis hat on and say, and I have a pretty thick skin because some of it's going to be criticism at me and maybe even some of the staff, but we're okay with that. So let's start with this. First of all, this is a little bit different from many of the small and medium-sized businesses that would listen, that are, businesses that are in from day one trying to make money.
Sure.
We were not trying to make money from day one. We were trying to spend money and then attract money and build audience, build an MVP, a product that is viable in the marketplace. And we were able to do that over fits and starts, and it took a long time, and a couple times we thought maybe we would quit, but no, we stuck with it, and now we do have this thing that is there, but it wasn't made from the beginning as an organizational management. It is a VC company, and anybody that's in the VC world understands that. You build, and then you just chew through money, and then all of a sudden, one day you have a month where you don't lose money, and then you have 3 months where you don't lose money, and then you might have a year where you don't lose money, but you're like, you didn't make anything. That's not the idea. But so we're at this part where I think we made $2,000 last year, and that was like we had a party and everything because that was the first time that we didn't lose. We'd probably do the same thing this year. So when you come into a VC and you're looking at the marketing specifically of a VC like this, what are you looking for?
When we first started having conversations, I was looking for opportunity, future growth, future opportunities,
Right market.
right market, right? So you're in one kind of known market right now, right? You've lived here a long time. Your staff has probably lived here most of their lives, if not all of their life, and they know the market. So the question becomes, and I know we've kind of talked about this, is what's the future look like? Is this market your end goal? Again, going back to kind of like plotting out where you want to be and what you want to do. Is it growth beyond this market? Is it multiple markets? Do you want to have 100 different markets at some point? How does that look? How does that work? How does that feel? Is it something you want to do? Is it something that your staff wants to do? And getting everybody on the same path and saying, what's the goal? And the goal really right now and I'm hoping I'm not giving too much away, but the goal is to solidify the current home market, to really understand it, to build it up, to get the messaging right, to get every single piece of the marketing machine to be fully functioning and running how it should. In 1 week, we've dissected a million different things already. We've looked at it. I've taken some of that information and shopped it out there to some people, and they're already like, yeah, I'm in. Just when you're done with this piece that you're working on, send it to me and we'll cut you a check for, the first 2 months.
So understand this. All right. So, and this is new to me. Basically, the staff here, I've kind of helped build this whole thing. And then I realize that I'm a good founder and a good visionary, but I am not a good manager, and I'm not good at doing what Matt's talking about in terms of building a new system. But you're coming in and you're doing what you do the best. Mm-hmm. You're building a system. Mm-hmm. So that would be the first thing that I'm just looking at. And right. I'm looking at it from the outside, to be honest with you, because it took me 6 months to realize that I had to get to this point and let somebody else do this. Okay? We'll leave that off as a different thing. So you're building a system. Now, how does that apply to the small and medium-sized person? It may be a VC or they may be not a VC. Right. And they're going to do what we've done here, and gosh, we got a good business here, but we're just kind of just churning in clients and they're friends of mine and all this. But God, all of a sudden we got a decent business. How do we switch over to where we have a strategic plan with a marketing system?
Right. So you've certain goals that you want to put out there. Your goal is to establish a foundation here, and then we've got some other ideas that we've been talking about, like.
And I'm okay you being open about things, yeah.
I mean, so think of it in terms of this. From a small business perspective, you open up a shop, whatever that shop is, whether it's a restaurant, a home decor place, a plumbing business, whatever it may be, in your town. Once you get that established, once you get that profitable, once you get that, all of your marketing, your customers, everything is flowing, and you're churning a profit over and over and over again. Then you ask your question, well, what if I went over to the next town over and opened up a second shop? Can I rinse and repeat this, right? So, or is it based just on me, right? So like, obviously you started this and you're pulling yourself out of it. And these are conversations I have with founders all the time is, if I pull you out of this business, does the business fail? And, one of my buddies that I talk to literally on a weekly basis, he was stuck in his business and he could not pull himself out of it. Today, he's not stuck in his business. He's got everybody working for him, doing all these different things, and he's got a variety of different services that do different things for him as well. If he wants to go golfing today, he can go golfing today. If he wants to not work at all this week, he can not work at all. And he's still going to have the same revenues that he would normally have if he was in the business doing it. So really, it's just we have to understand what are our goals, where do we want to go, what is it that we want to do. So if you own that restaurant, that home decor, that plumbing business in your town, What are your goals? Is that enough? Is that what you want, just that one? Or do you want to expand? Do you want to have one here in this town and then another in the other town and then maybe more and more and more? Or do you want to franchise the model? How do you want to do it? But the idea is really, what do you see yourself, or where do you see this company in the future? And work backward. It's always envision the future and then work backward. And I think that's what you and your staff are doing right now. Here is build this area, solidify it, and then rinse and repeat.
So let's go straight to the marketing part. You come in, it's all over the place. I think we sent you probably half a dozen different marketing.
73 emails in 5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you
I'm
for
just
all
kidding.
that information. But the business person that is listening, or the marketing person in a medium-sized business.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Is putting out fires all the time. You talk about that a lot in these podcasts. So a lot of times the messaging is not clear. They have not hired you. There's a massive company around here that we're trying to get, and I just feel like their messaging has gone back and forth because they don't understand this market. But that's another story. But until I did this podcast, I did not believe that the messaging was that important. So now you're coming in here, and let's be honest about how bad the messaging is here, and how do you fix it?
I wouldn't say it's bad. I think a lot of the marketing that you guys are doing right now is focused on the intricate details of how the network is built, instead of looking at what you've built. And I know that sounds weird, but for example, when we started pulling the number of watch hours for the network, I was floored at how many watch hours are going through that annually, and how it's not just for basketball. It's not just for, boys basketball, for boys football. It's, women's basketball. It's women's volleyball. I mean, there are significant hours and hours of watch time for this on a local level, right? Or the fact that you had 15 million people over the last year on Facebook interacting with your content. I can show you the graphs, how from January until now, it's drastically gone up, right? Significant engagement. And when you share that with somebody, it's the first thing is, oh, you're just another advertising opportunity in my backyard. And then you say, well, we are, but here's the results of what we're doing. And it makes people go, whoa, this is a legitimate thing that people are investing in. I need to take a closer look at this, right? So if somebody comes to you, a local newspaper, a local billboard, a local radio, local, Valpak or something to put a coupon in,
the little things above the urinals, all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, there's advertising opportunities everywhere. Can I show growth on that? Can I come to you and say, oh, well, our billboard views are up 200% year over year? No, you're probably not going to see something like that, right? It's here's an opportunity, here's how much traffic goes by it, blah, 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 blah. When you look at what you guys are doing, you're not highlighting the fact that your watch hours are through the roof, that your social is growing drastically, and just those 2 pages in your pitch deck alone can probably sell the next advertising package.
All right, so we've talked about what he's going to do as he comes in here, okay? He's looking at the strategic marketing plan. strategic plan of the whole business too, actually. But mostly you got to have a kind of like a step back. If you listen to the last podcast, got to step back, look at all of it. And that's what he does. He's been just kind of ruminating this in the shower forever. And then one of the very first things is to look at what is actually being sold and extract the positive messages out of that.
Right. Yes. And I mean, even to the advertising packages, I've seen you have 3 packages, and I've seen another deck that has 4 packages, right? And then I ask, well, what do you get in these packages? And they're listed. And I go, well, what is that, right? So you understand what that is, but an outside entity, somebody that's working for the advertiser that you're going after, doesn't understand what a thank you message on social media is.
A graphic during a game, and sometimes a scoreboard graphic, a rotating graphic, and or the naming rights to a kickoff or something.
Right. I mean, they have no idea what these packages. They just see 3 packages and they see a number and they're like, okay, well, I guess I'll take this one. I mean, and it's going back to the people that are listening. You have certain things that you utilize, that you say in your businesses every single day. Acronyms are huge in business, and maybe someone won't know what that acronym means. One of the guys last night in the meeting that I was in, he was saying he works for Amazon, and one of the people above him was talking to him, and he had no idea what the jargon was that they were utilizing in the conversation. And it's one of those things where it was one instance for him, but he said, I need to learn that because I don't understand it. And so how many times are we having conversations with our customers or our potential customers, and they don't understand what we're talking about? And it's just because we're so close to it, nobody has ever stopped them to go, whoa, I don't understand what OTO means. What is that, right? Those are just things that happen, and we don't give it second thought, because in your office, in your shop, in your whatever it is, your local business, it's common discussion, but it's getting lost outside the walls.
All right, so to apply to your business, a strategic marketing plan, messaging, and simplification.
Yeah, I mean, that's, Marcus puts it a little different, right? He's always talking about product, right? People and processes, right? So we're talking about kind of the processes of what we're talking here. You look at what each of the people that are working with you bring to the table, and, is your product good? So again, talking about your watch hours and your social media content, product's great, right? We looked at all the people and we started looking at how do they build into this? And then we looked at the processes, and the processes are a little fragmented at this point. We're just getting them all to where it's just like rinse and repeat.
So let's use Marcus's method. I know it's people and processes. What's the first one? Product.
Yep.
So product we talked about. It's a high school sports. We stream it, and it's kind of not really been done on this level around here. So people in marketing, usually it's a marketing person at a medium-sized bank or something like that, and they're like, wow, I didn't know this existed. So the product has rise, not just here, but nationally. It's grown at over 20% a year. So you have the product, and then you have the people. We talked about a staff. We have the advantage of being on the campus. We actually rent from the campus, so we're able to kind of pluck really good talent, like our producer right now, Adriana Alvarez, as long as she has to stay in school so we could keep her. How does that sound? Because she's overly trained right now. And then the processes is where the weakness is here. The product is reasonably strong. The people are reasonably strong. You have to go at that part for the marketing. Am I reading that right?
Yes. But let me go back. What is your product again?
We're streaming games, and the product is connection with the communities around those games.
Yep. Okay. Just making sure, right? So
is that how you understand it?
Yeah, I mean,
that's only 2 days ago when they told me that was our product because they heard it from you. I just spit it out.
No, I mean, if you come to somebody and you say, my product is I stream high school sports games. Okay, good for you, right? I give you opportunity to be part of our high school sporting events that are throughout our area. And by the way, our company actually gives back monetarily to our partner schools. So you're actually supporting our community by partnering with us on this advertising. That's a whole different conversation than I stream games, right? So that's what I mean by understanding what you're really selling. You're selling an opportunity to be part of it, to be interactive with it in some capacity with the different packages. Plus, you're also supporting those high schools and giving back them monetarily based on ad packages and things like that.
So the process, this is only not even a full week, really, that we've been working on this. It took a long time for two things to happen. For Matt to kind of just say, hey, let's kick this through and let's go with it. And it also took the founder, which is me. It takes a long time often for a founder to just basically say, hey, you know what? I get the message. Man, I went to all these VC things down in Indy, and we went to that founder startup guy, and they had a series of workshops. And all of it is everybody in here is a founder, and then there's a few managers. Mm-hmm. None of you guys should be in the same room. And that was, I didn't quite get it. Like, you have this skill, you have this skill, you have this skill, and you're going to get it to a point, let somebody else manage it. And that is very difficult. I finally come to that. So I'm open to all of this. We couldn't have done this podcast 4 months ago. So ultimately, you have the product, the people, and you're working on the processes. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the next step?
So the next step, every single one of your staff has marching orders and what they're working on. So obviously the sales side, they're getting all the CRM together.
How important is the CRM?
It's very important, right?
So once again, we're using an acronym that you're going to explain what it is first.
Yeah, so CRM is basically just a database of information on your...
Is it content resource management? Yeah. I don't even know. It's been so long. It's all CRM.
Yeah, so the idea is this. Maybe you're using Salesforce or something like that, right? Or HubSpot or any of them that are out there. There's a bunch of different ones. You have that. But then maybe you've got a salesperson over here that's got a Google sheet that they've developed and they're working off of that. Or maybe you have an intern over here that's got an Excel file that's got a bunch of stuff. And next thing you know, your data is literally all over the place. And when you ask somebody, like, where are we? Where's the list? Where's the hot leads, the cold leads, all of this stuff? It's everywhere. And that really is something that you need to solidify and get that all into one centralized umbrella. So whenever somebody needs to, let's say you're going to go call John over at plumbing something, right? I can go into the CRM and I can say, oh, well, we contacted John 3 days ago and, Jamie over here reached out and this is what he said. Okay, great. Now we know. I would have made a second phone call. It would have sounded like we didn't know what we were doing, right? All of those different things. So, depending on size, if you're a one-person shop or if you have 10, 15, 20 different people working for you, I mean, it's different. But, you got to get organized there.
CRM. So I know that's another thing that we're introducing to the small and medium-sized businesses. Like, oh, my God, I need a CRM. I don't know. How many people you got? We got 100 different people that do business with us. And we don't have a management system. Most of it was my friends and people I know from the radio that have migrated over, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
And I got a feeling that most of the people that come in here don't have a CRM, and their stuff's a mess. Yeah, where do they start?
Use a Google Sheet or an Excel file. I mean, put your customers somewhere. Even when we had the home decor shop, I mean, we had, I think it was like 4,000 people on our mailing list, but it was in an Excel file. So if I needed to go pull anything out of there, I could pull something out of there. If you want to start tying that back to orders, I mean, maybe take a name every time you get an order and you can tie it back in some kind of database. But, realize if you are selling something out there in the general public, it is good to keep a database because those are customers or those are potential customers that you've had conversation with. If they're cold and you're just building a database of cold leads, I mean, that's tough, right? So that's what, again, we've talked with the staff here and we said, who are our hot leads, who are our cold leads, right? So who is currently running advertising, who is not currently running advertising? Because if somebody in late October is not running advertising, like people that are going to spend money on advertising are running ads right now, right? You're getting into the holiday season. There's a variety of things that are going on. Budgets have to be exhausted. Many times people have money left over. I mean, I hear this all the time. Hey, we've got an extra $5,000. What kind of ideas can you throw at us that we can do, right? If they're not spending right now, that's a cold lead. Again, coming back around on the flip side, January, February is always tough because, everybody, if you're a small business, you've spent most of your money, if not all of your money, just to get through the holiday season. And, everybody's kind of paying off the credit cards and all of that after the first of the year. And then anyone with significant budgets for marketing dollars, they're waiting on approval processes, right? So they're going through budgets and looking at them. So typically those take anywhere from mid-February all the way to April to get approved. So, you get kind of this dull downtime. And, that's where I think your staff is going to realize, like, got to hit now. You're getting into basketball season. I know football playoffs are starting. Basketball is huge. We live in Indiana, let's face it. So, it's time to get out there and sell, and that's what we're trying to move as fast as we can with these guys and really kind of get that messaging together. But no, I mean, you got a solid product, you got solid people here, you've got you just got to clean some of the processes up.
So to go back, there it is. It's kind of a different podcast. This is Mastering Local Marketing, episode 86. Thanks a lot to Adriana Alvarez. She's a student here at Purdue. She actually runs the podcast network here. And if you want your own podcast, you just email Adriana with 2 N's at wjob1230.com, and she'll send you some stuff and say, hey, there's dozens of people that do podcasts here. But this was a different episode. A lot of it I don't know because I've tried to disengage with it, but you have Matt coming in here and applying what he has and doing it in a growth industry, and we'll see how it works out. It's brand new, so this is the first installment of that. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think we'll see where this goes as we go forward. I think it's a collective effort. Everybody's on board. Everybody's kind of bought in. So we'll just see how fast we can move. But, again, it's just understanding why we're doing what we're doing. So it's a lot of education at first, but it's going to be pretty solid once we get it done.
So we'll try to follow the process and see if there's anything that comes up that can apply to your small and medium-sized business so you, too, can be mastering local marketing. Until next time, see you later.